Om Shanti. Today I, Koshki Katoch, is here with you with a new poem titled The English Lectures. Before beginning the poem, I would like to question you all that do you also have a lecture which you miss the most of your school life? Okay, so let's begin. Remember sitting in the first bench, first row, right in front of the teacher, a wonder waiting eye watching you, oh dear English teacher. The A to Z alphabets of your subject add meaning to my life. We are remember once Shakespeare was alive. The entry of English teacher always used to bring smile on the lost souls of the classroom or of those who only came for a lecture to be heard. The lecture begins about what my lovely teacher was and ended up with the intro of a mixed up student product that earlier I was. Just remember that first chapter, I think, the last lesson. It was taught with the visualization power of our English teacher. I remember her glittering eyes when her facial expressions matched the dialogues of the author. She just not went for books, but she went for deep insight of each soul sitting in a costume of a student. She was just versatile teacher of mine. Filled me up with values, characters of the 3D world. My passion and introduced me to God, my divine one. The English lectures were quite different from the rest, where the teacher longed to explain to all of us. She and her movements were not only in the first row, she roamed the whole class thrice, or I must say every time, when our pens were folded and our heads were bowed. She stood by every bench to see whether if any child was stuck or just nodding from deep silence. It's time for the English reading. Whoa. My every wait for this part of the language to begin. Usually, my teacher used to pick the sweet kids whose tongues used to mislead them, and me, the desperate one, watching her from beneath. And when finally I used to read, she would engross herself in it, and sometimes guide me to not be loud but soft indeed. My English teacher and my English lectures must say a combo of God and His blessings towards me as a boon from heaven. The favorite time, the checking time. When, my notebook used to go red with her pen, touched on my thin sheet. I remember my R or my F. The way she used to teach by hand was actually my dense favorite one. Or sometimes my notice out of the box into something else. But she taught me first deserve and then desire. So, my dear teacher, I hope now I deserve, and I ought to say that can I desire? And therefore I would shout out loud and say it aloud for all the dreamers, the actives, the lost, and the future growing ones. May God never ever take off this hand of yours away from your beloveds. As in the end, would love to say, we are not afraid to die, though we are together on opposite sides. Thank you.